project them, and that's just what this whole bowl is about actually. I was fascinated to hear about the blowing stone, and because I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the bowl, and Gail is very much going to take that forward. It is a sacred landscape, and using sound and light, I think we can do wonderful things. So, it's wonderful to have you all here. We've all come together for a reason. We all have different pathways that brought us here, but just give you a quick sort of introduction, because some of you are new to Gatekeeper. I'm Angela Shaw. I'm one of the co-chairs. There are 3 at the moment. Stephen, sadly, is standing down as co-chair, but this is his last official event. But for 14 years, he has been amazing. We do have lots of trustees still here. So Mike, our treasurer and recorder, is at the back there, and Gail is a trustee as well. And we have 3 more who are not here. We have 2 new ones. One in Scotland, and one on the Welsh-English border. So we're covering the whole of the British Isles. We're sorted. So just to sort of give you a quick sort of tell you my story, I guess. I'm an artist. I'm an environmental artist. I work with the land, and I was drawn down to Cornwall in 2013, and by St Michael's Mount, in fact, and I ended up working with Michael and Mary Lyons on the bench, which has brought me here today. Along the course of the way, I met wonderful people. I did a sculpture called the light sculpture in the land over 10 miles around St Michael's Mountain across to St Ives, and I had wonderful collaborators who worked with me. One of them was Carrie Wood, who's not here today, but she instigated the White Horses ride, which I'll talk about in a minute. And Bar Miller, Hamish Miller's widow, held the light at Tren Crom, where you can see St Michael's Mountain, you can see the north and the south coast. So I mean, an amazing experience, and I've been holding the light ever since, and I work with lanterns and chalk. Chalk is my bedrock. I was born on chalk, and I'm drawn to chalk, and it's very porous, it's very but it's strong as well. You look at the needles, they're still standing, so it's really interesting, but I'm drawn to working with chalk, but with light, and I'm a photographer as well. So that is playing with light, using light to inspire. For me, the lantern is really important because it sort of symbolises the heart. It needs protecting. You've got this internal flame, which we can reinforce when we're with others who feel the same way, and that's what I hope will happen today. So that's almost a grail in itself. The landscape is grail, and certainly the singing bowl. That is also. He's just going to carry on playing around. So the image that brought you here today, hopefully, in the centre you've got this wonderful grail shape in the landscape. It's looking down from the horse, and I believe it's a horse, but I believe it's both. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Looking north, so the shape of the land, the manger, it is a grail. Then you've got obviously Gary and Caroline's wonderful crossing point, this energy hub, which is so important. And the church which we're going to go to, Gail and I came here to sort of prepare for this on the 31st of October, All Hallows Day, Halloween. And she will talk to you about the wind and the weather and what happened that day. But there was a carpet of red berries because the ewes shed all their berries at once, and it was extraordinary and sort of merry energy and powerful stuff. So you never know what's going to happen when we go out into the land. It's very much a dialogue, being open to listening and learning the wisdom that will be given to you. Now I know about plasma. There's more to it than I knew before, but it is this sort of symbiotic exchange, and I think if you come with a loving heart and an open mind, you can start this, or you probably already have your own practice and your own, and there are many ways to connect, be it through sound, be it through light, be it whatever your special gift is, you will be bringing that, along today, which is wonderful. So started in Cornwall, worked up the Michael and Mary lines, and then we did this wonderful ride connecting all the white horses, which some of you have heard me speak about at conference. There is a sort of energetic network between the horses. Yes, some of them aren't old. I mean, obviously Uffington is prehistoric. It's got this wonderful energy. But we did this ride in peace and ended up at Uffington, which was spectacular. From there, I was sort of led in the direction of lots of things, but out of that came Marlborough College, had a tiny horses near Merlin's Mount. It's quite a sacred area as well. We've done a couple of Pilgrims weekends there, working in Amesbury, Blickmead, Old Sarum, and it's such a shame that we haven't got the slideshow to go with us, so we're all winging it. So just go with that. But this picture I've got here, collaborations with Gail, and the first one we did together, where she introduced her singing bowl and her Aramaic healing prayer, was at Old Sarum, this particular special tree. And we very much felt there was, this grail cut in the landscape with the stem running down from Amesbury, really, all the way down to Hengistbury Henge. Again, so we followed the Wiltshire Avon, and we did some work on that. And there's a picture here of her using her sound bowl at Hengistbury Head, which again is a great big sort of cauldron, isn't it? It's a wonderful shape. From there, we went to Avebury last year, and when we were there, we were looking at, I don't know if any of you are aware of David Furlong's work, but he has the double Marlborough Circle, which overlaps Leicester Pisces. In the centre of that is Temple Coombe, and some of us went into the Coombe, and it's again a bowl and had sort of very special energies there. We then went back into the Moon Circle, is it called? I think in Avebury, and Gail, at Stephen's instigation, he felt that the stone was a resonator and may have been used to send out energy, and that goes along with some of the things you were saying earlier. So Gail was actually singing or toning into the stone, and it was reverberating out. So I think the landscape can amplify and send out light, love, sound. So to go back to Marlborough and the horse that was being very, very neglected, hadn't been touched for 20 years. This is all about to take off, by the way. Learning from Uffington, I mean, they were so helpful, the head ranger here. I sort of gathered information. I'm a gatherer of people and places and things, that's what I do. And I gathered information for how to look after a white horse, because a lot of people have no idea. I mean, I didn't have any idea before I started either. And so you can have a look at the photos. That's how they used to do it in the old days. Everybody got together, and there were parties, and people got drunk, and it was a real community bringing together to take care of the land. And then you'll see how it's done during lockdown, where in fact that was staged for a photo, and they were all sort of socially distanced, and, with their proper equipment and everything. But I was worried about the Marlborough horse. I had been for some time, and I've tried to get the college to engage. I've even offered to run a workshop there to get people out to work with the horse, because I felt it was very neglected. It was a very central one. It was an important one. And then lockdown came. I couldn't get the college to do it, and then they rang me up and said, actually, we're looking for a lockdown project for the students. Will you do it? Will you get it going? So I did the proposal for it, and they got the girls to do it. And you'll see the bottom ones are the girls on the horse, mainly girls, interestingly enough. But that will build up this whole legacy of, caring for the horse, connecting with the horse, because it had become neglected. Nobody even knew who, was responsible for it. So it's getting people to connect with their land. And the last one, I'm going to just be very brief, but the last one I want to show you was, rest a little bit. After we finished, Gail and I mean, she'll tell you in detail, and there's an article about the interaction we had on, the other thing that brought me here was climate change concerns, and this need to send the right sort of energy up before the COP26 climate conference, to inspire our leaders to do great things. And they had lots of wonderful Indigenous teachers there, who come from all over the world. And the opportunity as presidents of COP was immense, but unfortunately it was wasted because the oil lobbyists were there as well, and ultimately that won the day. But it was an extraordinary day, and Gail will talk a bit more about. There was a group of artists who went up the spine of Albion, inspired by Gary and Caroline's book, to sort of re-energise the PowerPoints and to gather people's stories along the way. And they took the stories up to COP. And Mike, in fact, joined them with Mike at Alderney Edge, further up. And Peter and Sarah Dawkins joined them as well. And in fact, to sell our future Pilgrims days, we're doing a day at Stratford with Peter and Sarah on the 2nd of July, and then 17th of September, Gary and Caroline, without COVID, are going to be leading a day up in in Alderney Edge. So that's further up the line, and it's sort of going north because we feel the northern part of the country gets a bit neglected. A lot of things happen down south. So, hopefully some of you may come along. But to go back to, is it a horse, is it a dragon? I would argue that the horse, I've got another image which we'll put up on the website afterwards, because you would have had a slideshow with lots of other, images and things. So we're just skirting through it. But the horse appeared on a lot of coins. It was shown dragging the sun, or carrying the sun, dragging. The ancients believed that the sun carried the sun on its back during the day, and then it went into the underworld and was brought by a boat back at night. And there are cave drawings that go back to literally, when we lived in the caves, the Ice Age, the end of the Ice Age. And the first ever piece of portable art was a horse on a horse boat. And so it shows this very close connection that people had. They may have hunted the horse, but it also had a spiritual importance to them. And so after this day that we had on Halloween, 31st of October, which was the cusp of COP, which is one of the reasons we were coming together. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but you can come and look later. Here's the little white horse, and this to me is the dragon's head. So the dragon and the horse are coming together, and the dragon is the folds of the land come round. And I've also got an old map, which I haven't printed out in big, but it's on the slides, which actually shows a dragon in the topography of the land, a little horse, and also a hare. So the hare for me is about Mary. But so it's fascinating with this very ancient map. It shows the dragon and the horse together, and I believe in this picture that's the head of the dragon with its body curling around here, talking to the horse. And so when those two energies come together, it's incredibly powerful. So I'll leave you with that thought, and I'm going to pass it to